Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Adam Bergman's Money Makers, where we talk everything financial news, financial data, and personal finance as it relates to your own journey for financial independence and generational wealth for not only yourself, but your family. Today I do want to talk about a company called Palantir. The ticker symbol is PLTR. Palantir has been absolutely whooped and shellacked over the last 6 months to the last 52 weeks. But that's okay, because a real investor is not short-sighted. They are long-term investors, 5 to 10 year horizon. At least I am. And none of this is financial advice, purely entertainment and educational purposes only. If you want financial advice, go somewhere else. Today I want to talk about Palantir and a brand new partnership that Palantir has with a company called Trafigura. Who is Trafigura and what do they do? And why is it important to Palantir's long-term sustainable vision? And why is this important to us as investors in Palantir? Trafigura is the largest commodity trader on the planet. Their net worth is approximately $90 billion, and they bring in over $230 billion worth of revenue. So what exactly is Trafigura? What do they do? And what is a commodity? In terms of Trafigura, a commodity is anything physical, anything resource that helps you build something else. For example, fuel and oil, precious metals, wood, things like that. Taking resources from one place that has it plentiful and shipping those resources to another place that is lacking these resources. And these resources is the lifeline, the bloodline of development in certain regions, certain states, and certain countries all around the globe. And they just made a partnership with Palantir that Palantir is going to track the life cycle emissions of these commodities. So what exactly does that mean? Now that we know what a commodity is, a resource, physical resources in this case, what is a life cycle? A life cycle is from point A to point Z, the entire lifeline of that commodity, from when they're trying to source it, to when they're trying to deliver it, to when it actually gets to the place that it needs to be. And what exactly is emissions? An emission is the production and release of something pertaining to that commodity. So it's just the energy or the negativity that's spewed out into the environment. Why is this important, and how does this actually connect to Palantir? I'm going to go into a few articles in a moment. I'm going to give you some data in a moment, but let's just think logically. Palantir is an AI data analytics company. It's not the first time they're getting into emissions. It's not the first time they're getting into energy. For example, they have a massive contract with BP where they track everything for BP in their database. The thing that Palantir does is it takes the raw data, it processes it, and it spits it out as preemptive, usable data for the future. There is a huge push right now, especially for companies that deal in oil, in energy, in gas, things that are not exactly environmentally friendly, to try to offset some of that environmentally unfriendliness and track it and make it more efficient, make it better, and hone in and focus marketing on the positives instead of the negatives. By being the largest commodities trader in the world, this brings a lot of eyes on you, a lot of publicity on you. Palantir is going to probably take hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of data points and put it into their Palantir Foundry software and process all of this and allow Trafigura to track the life cycle emissions of the commodities that they're dealing in every single day. This is a massive undertaking, and this is going to be a very lucrative contract for Palantir. I'm going to read you a couple of articles. Let's get right into it. Before I go any further, I wanted to give a huge announcement to my buddy Brian. He is one of my subscribers that I actually met a couple of times. He's a great guy, one of the nicest 62-year-olds I've ever met. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brian. Happy birthday to you. Shout out, man. Happy birthday, Brian. I'm wishing you all the very, very best. He's in the middle of the ocean on the casino, gambling his life away. I hope you come back with some life left. Have a great day, man. This is from the website of Trafigura. What do? We have been connecting our customers to the global economy for a quarter of a century. We grow prosperity by advancing trade. We source, store, blend, and deliver physical commodities reliably, efficiently, and responsibly anywhere in the world. We add value to the global trade in natural resources with exceptional services and performances across the supply chain. We strengthen market links between products and end users and supply our customers with the commodities they require when and where they need them. That's great. And this is just a picture of what they do, what we do. At the heart of global supply, Trafigura connects the world with the vital resources it needs through our oil and petroleum products, metal and minerals, and power and renewable divisions. We deploy infrastructure, skill, and global network to move commodities from where they are plentiful and where they are needed most, forming strong relationships and making supply chains more efficient, secure, and sustainable. So right now, Palantir is going to be tracking the actual life cycle emissions. But in the future, they can upgrade this contract and actually track everything they do. In addition, they do a lot of global trade, Trafigura. So it might open up a lot of new doors for Palantir to work with other huge corporations in this type of market. So it's not just, let's think today, really think about what's going to happen in the future. A lot of times companies like Palantir, not just Palantir, but a lot of companies that do something very specific and something different than the rest of the market, you give them a little teaser contract. You give them a little bit of a, hey, let's see what you can do. And if you could do something good, then we're going to give you a bigger contract in the future. And this is just a quick chart. So it goes from customers to producers, from producers to customers. And then they say, we source all our raw materials, then we transform them, and then we distribute it. So we take from the producer, distribute it to the customers. And in a gist, this is oversimplifying, but this is what Trafigura does. So they want to track the emissions over the life cycle of getting it from the producer, processing it, sourcing it, transforming it, distributing it to the actual customer. And this is where Palantir comes in. And on their actual website, you see that there's a publication just came out today. Palantir and Trafigura announced collaboration to deliver supply chain carbon emissions platform to the market. Denver and Singapore. Denver is where Palantir is based, and Singapore is where Trafigura is based. One of the world's largest physical commodities trading companies and Palantir Technologies today announced the development of the technology services platform for carbon emissions, calculations, reporting, and collaboration across commodity supply chains. The consortium approaches enables participants across global energy and commodity supply chains to model life cycle carbon intensities and allow the industry participants to work together to enhance visibility and reporting. The platform aims to increase transparency of emissions from the production, the transformation, and the transportation of commodities across the supply chain. This will enable participants to better understand life cycle emissions related to their indirect operations, to benchmark against other participants and identify opportunities for lower carbon pathways. A lot of times these companies get carbon credits if they can reduce their carbon footprint. Sometimes they buy carbon offsets. It's very, very important in today's day and age to track your emissions, your carbon footprint, because you need to reduce your carbon footprint as much as possible. Whether you believe in it, whether you don't believe in it, whether you believe in it as a corporation because it helps you with offsets, it helps you with government aid, it helps you with government deductions, write-offs, whatever. A lot of companies have to start tracking this and are tracking this. And who better than Palantir, the premier AI data analytics company, to take all of this raw data and spit it out with preemptive process data that you can actually use and showcase. This project marks the first time Palantir will go to market with a partner on carbon emissions tracking. Leveraging Trafigura's expertise in global commodity supply chains, Palantir's Foundry operating system will be configured to provide consortium partners with an accurate calculation of carbon intensity across supply chains, beginning with crude oil and refined products, and concentrates and refined metals. The announcement builds on the work already done over the past year by Palantir and Trafigura, with the initial pilot already having built scenarios across 10 million carbon pathways. 10 million carbon pathways. Wow, using actualized commodity shipments by integrating Trafigura's data and metrics supplemented by third-party data. And I quote, "Our customers are increasingly asking us for visibility into the life cycle emissions of the commodities we move as they prepare for the regulated Scope 3 emissions reporting and more generally for net zero," said Jeremy Ware of Trafigura's executive chairman and CEO. "The complexity involved in the commodity supply chains require robust cooperation across the industry and a technology solution that can enable meaningful decisions and change. We are delighted to jointly deliver a solution to make with Palantir, whose technology can manage the complexity and data security required to provide additional services to our customers and market." Guys, you can see I'm not making that up. If you read that statement, customers are increasingly asking Trafigura for this information. Why? Those customers that are sourcing these materials, these commodities, are themselves being asked by their customers, by their local government, by the press, by marketing, by PR, whatever. Everybody's looking at carbon footprints. And from the biggest companies to the smallest companies, from local to big business and to the government. Everybody wants to know. And they're saying that Palantir is the only company that can do this. That's exactly what I'm reading over here. And I quote, "The collective action required to address many of or most pressing global challenges require more than resolve or shift in political priorities," said Alex Karp, co-founder and chief executive officer of Palantir Technologies. And I quote, "It requires a shared understanding of the facts based on data. We have built software platforms that deliver that shared understanding by enabling institutions across entire industries and sectors to collaborate and model the world in which they operate." Guys, Palantir is growing. Palantir is growing. Palantir's share price is around $8 right now. It sucks. I know it sucks. I'm not gonna give you some crazy speech right now of, hey, yeah, we could do it. No, guys, we really are changing the world. I can see it as clear as day. As sure as I am that the sun will come out tomorrow, I am sure that Palantir will make it. Give it a 5 to 10 year horizon. I'm not giving you advice. I'm giving you my own personal place and my own personal opinion. But how can you doubt that Palantir is going to make it? They have a moat around them. They do something super special. Not only do they work with big box businesses, they also work with governments. And they secure our countries, they secure our companies. They are quite literally their shit. I love Palantir. The more that you read into Palantir, the more you read articles. Now, I do a lot more research than a lot of other people. But the more I research, the more I love this company. You cannot not love this company, in my personal opinion, and they're doing such big boy things that's gonna correlate to the share price in the future. I don't see a future that Palantir is not a triple-digit price per share. I just don't see it, guys. None of this is financial advice, and it's just my own personal opinion. I'm just a YouTuber. Definitely don't listen to YouTubers. I just don't see that Palantir is not gonna make it as long as they're doing what they're doing right now. And I truly do believe, and I'm not just trying to play you guys, I'm not trying to give you guys some BS. I don't see them not coming out super strong in the next 12 months from what's happening in this geopolitical uncertainty in Ukraine. I said it all the time. I think that there's going to be influx of government contracts in the last quarter of this year and the first quarter of next year. I've been saying this for the last couple of months. Last quarter, Q4 of this year, Q1 of 2023. Guys, happy trading. Have a great day.